Step out of the history that's holding you back. Step into the new stage you are willing to create. Hi, I'm Linda Watson-Call. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Dragonfly Soup. Before we start, I want to give a big shout out to the students at Holly Middle School. I had mentioned to a few of them that my goal for this year was to get 100 subscribers for this series. They spread the word, and this week the channel hit 104. I couldn't have done it without your support. Thank you so much, Holly Middle School students. We only have a few days before we greet another year. For some of us, the last days of December are times of reflection. It's time to evaluate what we've accomplished, what we could have done better, or where we dropped the ball entirely. Too often, our didn't do's outnumber the do's. Why is that? Lack of time? Not enough money? No resources? The list can go on until we find one thing that fits our situation. Then, when we find that good excuse, we hold on to it. We nurture it. We make it part of us. It becomes our alter ego, our reason for not. And when we come across someone who is successful, well, we come up with a lot of reasons why they were able to accomplish their goals, like they had the time, the money, the resources. So why wouldn't they succeed? All of these reasons are the opposite side of the same coin, a person's goals. The real reason why many people don't succeed is because they forget to breathe. I know, breathing is a natural occurrence. If we don't breathe, we die, plain and simple. That's not the breathing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the breathing, the exhaling that releases our energy and allows us to keep our momentum going. You know, I see this all the time when I'm teaching horseback riding. A student is learning how to trot. She feels comfortable on the horse. The horse starts trotting. The trotting motion is bouncier than the walk and it's faster. So what does that student do? She holds her breath. This makes her body stiff on the horse. The horse feels the tension, the stiffness, and stops trotting. So we spend the next few lessons learning how to breathe when the horse trots. With our goals, though, there's a little bit more to it than the bumpy ride and the speed. Listen to what Oprah Winfrey has to say. Step out of the history that's holding you back. Step into the new stage you are willing to create. It's our history that's causing us to hold our breath and stops us in our tracks. It's almost like we're being robbed at gunpoint. It's our history that robs us from moving on to the next place that we want to be. No, we can't change our history, but we can reframe our way of thinking. So let's say your goal was to improve your grades this year. You're doing fine in all the classes except math. Your history is that you've never done well in math ever since the 4th grade when negative numbers were introduced. Now you freeze up. You hold your breath and feel defeated whenever you see a negative number in a math problem. So let's reframe that. Fact, you did not do good in math in the 4th grade. It wasn't because you couldn't learn. It was because you didn't understand the concept of negative numbers. Can we change that? Yes. Instead of telling yourself that math is not your thing, use this instead. Math can be a challenge to me, but I'm up to conquering it. Now we've shifted the perspective from you to an object, math. You know, you've experienced challenges before and you performed well. So why not this time? Let's say you're running a race and the race is longer than anything you've ever run before. You would probably get a coach. You would work up to the race by strengthening your muscles and running a little further each time you trained. And most importantly, you would tell yourself that you could do it, that you could run this race. And on the day of the race, you run and complete it. Well, math is no different. You find yourself a coach, also known as a tutor, who can explain to you negative numbers. The tutor strengthens your understanding of negative numbers by giving you some problems to solve. The problems gradually get more difficult, but you keep telling yourself that you can solve them. In the end, you breathe a sigh of relief because you got it. You understand it. You can solve problems with negative numbers now. It is our history that causes us to hold our breath because we relieve that pain over and over again. We freeze because we don't want to risk taking the next step and failing. But by reframing our history into an experience that creates a challenge, we're able to see that we can move forward. All we need to do is stop holding our breath. We need to release what was holding us back and create a plan, even if that means asking for help to get over the next hurdle. So stop holding your breath. Move forward and start writing the next chapter of your life, the life that you know is yours. Please share in the comments or a private message how you plan to stop holding your breath and move forward in life. Be sure to click like for this week's episode, and while you're at it, share it with your friends. And if you're looking forward to a way to create your vision for 2020, please check out my 2020 Vision for All My Tomorrows journal. This paperback is filled with over 366 inspirational quotes, affirmations, and thought starters, and it was just released 2 weeks ago. So order yours today. The Amazon link is below. And I'll see you next week, right here on Dragonfly Soup. Here's to our transformation and our best year ever.